Hi there, meteorologist Robert Spetta here with you. It is the morning of the 4th of September in the Western Pacific, and Typhoon Lingling, also known as Liwayway in the Philippines, they do a different naming system than the rest of the world, is now a Category 1 typhoon. It is expected to continue to increase up to a Category 3 equivalent on the Saffir-Simpson scale as it moves over Ishigaki and Miyako-jima just towards the west of Okinawa, Japan. As far as the impacts on the Philippines and western Taiwan, where it is going to be staying well towards the east and northeast of, we are going to be still seeing plenty of inflow coming in around the backside of this, and that means northwestern Luzon. I do anticipate some flooding out there. Might even see upwards about 100 millimeters of precipitation, and also inflow is going to be starting to pile up on the southwestern mountains of Taiwan as well, increasing that chance of heavy rainfall. But the bigger impact is, of course, going to be here on the southern Japanese islands. Here on the latest track from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, do note this outer red line here. If you're not familiar with it, that's really just indicating the extent of tropical storm strength winds. And according to JTWC, they do have the outer extent of those tropical storm strength winds, 35 knots sustained, impacting the island of Okinawa, with that higher, more destructive winds of 50 knots or higher really remaining over Ishigaki and Miyako-jima. Latest model runs kind of confirm this up as well. Looking like this on Thursday morning, the outer eye wall of this storm system starting to approach Miyako-jima, really Wednesday night into Thursday morning. This is Okinawa Honto just here towards the northeast, by the way. And as we go ahead throughout the day on Thursday, by Thursday afternoon into the evening, Okinawa Honto, you'll start to see some more intense rain bands, and that's probably when you're going to start to see those tropical storm strength winds. Meanwhile, back towards the southwest here, Miyako-jima probably see the highest of the winds associated with this storm, as that inner eye wall is going to be passing right over the island there. Now, the highest winds associated with it will be about a Category 1 to Category 2, which, as far as Miyako-jima is concerned, is not strong. I mean, I don't want to say that and make it come across like that's not really high winds, but it definitely, as far as that specific island is concerned, is built for Category 5 type storms, super typhoons, if you will. And yeah, this one's going to be one of those days where I'm sure most of the Japanese residents here probably will hunker down for a little bit, wait for it to pass, and be on to work by the afternoon into the evening hours. Meanwhile, those rain bands do continue to wrap around this even through midnight. That's this time frame right there, 15Z on Wednesday heading into Thursday morning, and then we scoot ahead a little bit more so by 21Z, and in the Friday morning we still see those wraparound rain bands coming in as this storm pulls off towards the north. Now, plenty of rain bands are going to impact Okinawa. The heaviest of the precipitation will remain west of the island, eventually pulling off towards the north and eventually towards the Korean Peninsula as this starts to turn towards the north and east. By the way, there's another tropical storm way off towards the south and east. That's what this line is picking up on right there. It's a long-range model. I really wouldn't take too much into this, but definitely we're going to keep a very close eye on that, because eventually that could actually impact places like Osaka, even over towards Nagoya as well. That's kind of where this line is pointing right there, associated with a separate system. We just pull back the bigger picture here. We can see our storm Liwayway, also known as Lingling, moving off towards the north here. You got that moisture wrapping in, and here's our other little tropical depression at that point, kind of cruising off here towards western Japan. This one's going to get pulled in behind Lingling as it moves eventually off towards northeastern Russia, or northeastern China and eastern Russia, I should say. So all of this is kind of just flowing more or less first into this northwestern pattern around our Westpac high, a little bit off here towards the east, getting caught up with the jet stream and eventually wavering back there towards the north and east. So a lot going on here with these multiple systems, not to mention the remnants of Kajiki still out here in the South China Sea, more or less the blob, but getting wrapped up with the monsoonal flow coming across. And that's one reason why you are still looking at plenty of rainfall impacting northwestern areas of Luzon. Now, any of my friends out here in the southern Japanese islands, I know that at the military bases, last I checked, they are in T-Core 3. I would not be surprised if we go to T-Core 2, but I wouldn't really anticipate 50-knot winds or stronger either. Regardless, I mean, you got some gusty winds out there, and anytime people typically get hurt across the southern Japanese islands is because they were doing something silly. You get those gusty winds, some debris does fly around, or, God forbid, anybody heads out to the southern and eastern coastlines and goes to check out the waves. I do remember a few years back, there was actually some airmen that got swept away because they were watching the waves from one of these storms that was many miles away, and they ended up passing away, unfortunately. So it's one of those situations where this is not a full-blown super typhoon, but just be smart about it out here, my friends. All right, thanks for watching. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please post them down in the comment box below. And as always, stay safe out there.